Welcome to another episode of Shining Through Your Words, our author series proudly brought to you by Write and Shine Media House. Today, I could not be more excited about our guest, not only an incredible person, author, my friend, but really an inspiration. And you can see we are celebrating something incredible today. But before I go on, please introduce yourself.
Thank you, Marguerite, for the honor of being on your podcast. Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Monica Krishnan. I'm a clinical pharmacist, mental health and grief advocate. And now, thanks to Write and Shine Media House, an author of my first children's book.
I actually want to pause this moment. It's big. I am so delighted to have you here, Dr. Monica. And what an incredible journey this has been. I feel so honored to have been, I feel chosen to be on this journey with you. And please, will you share with our listeners and viewers, how did this journey start?
Yeah, I think there was something inside of me for quite a bit of time where I knew I wanted to convey a message to the world that's regarding mental health and grief, something that I personally faced back in 2011 after losing my husband. I navigated grief, high functioning depression. I was often stigmatized by society, and I knew that there was more to my life than just my label that society gave me. And I think it's not until 2018 when I was given a spark of hope after attending a women's conference that made me realize that I'm meant to do more in this world.
I love that so much. And when would you say was the pivotal moment for you when you decided, okay, this dream is within you, but when did you decide to take action? Can you remember that moment?
Yeah, it was in 2018. I was asked to do my very first interview on a podcast by a woman named Alice, who had a podcast called Smashing the Stigma. Now, I had never done any public speaking before that. And, I told her I might do the entire interview in tears, which is pretty much what I did. And at that moment, I realized that my vulnerability was my superpower. Even though I did my entire interview crying, she reminded me that there's so much power in our voice and our stories. And I have to tell you, I think it is that moment is when my book manifested because I had shared with her that I had been on antidepressants for 5 years and how the antidepressants was giving me pockets of sunshine. And
Aw,
that was in 2018.
that is incredible. So that is where the name of the book basically originated.
Yes, I think it came into the universe back
Uh-huh.
then. And, you know, 2018 till I think 2021, the universe was probably cooking and brewing until you landed literally in my life through a mutual friend. And I know that like it's just not coincidence. Like we were meant to cross paths to be in each other's lives. And I couldn't be more grateful to you and your team, Marguerite.
Oh, thank you so much for saying it, Dr. Monica. But it really is all you. You're the mother of this vision. We have spoken about it. You have worked so hard. You've not given up. And this is what this author series is all about. What would you say as author, was your biggest challenge during these few years, basically crafting this incredible narrative from scratch? If you look at the illustrations, everything took so much love and energy and time. What was your biggest challenges from an author's perspective?
So from an author's perspective, and me writing my very first book, a children's book, um, I was at the same time going through some very, very big healing moments in my life. I met my spiritual teacher back in 2020, 2021, which is when the idea came to me of writing this book. I did not realize that there was so much trauma that was in me still. It was like an onion layer that needed to be unraveled. So simultaneously, as I'm writing this book, I am also working on my own healing journey. And I realized that there was so much power in sitting and writing, even if I was writing in tears. Um, and I think that one of the biggest challenges was not giving myself enough grace. When I was writing and I was really hard on myself, like, ugh, like I'm just not getting this chapter right. Now in hindsight, I think that the beauty is in the journey of writing. Of course, the beauty is in the final product, but the journey to get to this point, even with the lows and the highs, that's where the magic for me truly lied.
I couldn't agree with you more. And I'm just smiling because I know how courageous you've been and how determined. I couldn't be more proud. And you remind me of these athletes, these Olympic athletes. It's all about the time on the track, the before you hold this, because your book is like a trophy you can now hold. And it's not like to brag, it's to say, listen, my journey is captured in these pages. What would you say is your favorite part in this book, if we look at this incredible book that you've written?
That's a really hard question because I love every part of this book. Obviously, being South Asian, I love how we incorporated the Diwali aspect. Even though this book is multicultural, multi-generational, I loved adding in a spark of my heritage, my culture, and also to shine light on um, mental health in the South Asian community, a community that I belong to and a community that I heavily faced stigma from. Um, but I really love how in this book, Anisha, the main character, finds, support from family, friends, educators, and truly herself. Like she has this beautiful light within her that she discovers later on in at the end of the book that, she is sunshine and everyone around her is also human forms of sunshine. But I have to say that, being the author of this book, I love every part of it, but I do like how we added the Diwali aspect into it.
And I must say, it's an incredible book. I've worked on a lot of books, and this, for me personally, I've said to you, is absolutely, if not, I can't say but it's a brilliant, 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 one of my absolute favorites ever. I don't think, because there's so much love and also real people. You based a few characters on real people. We used
I did.
images. Please share that because for me it's such from a space of love and truly your story, all in this beautiful book.
Yeah. Yeah, so you will get to when you get to read the book, there is a character named Aunt Sona, who I basically created from a real Sona in my life. Um, a friend, a sister who basically held my hand, even till this day, 12 years later, she holds my hand in the darkest times, in times of joy. Um, she's that friend who has never forgotten a difficult day for me. And so it was without any hesitation that I needed to have her in my book to show the readers that support in family members, sisters, friends is so important. And to lean on to friends, hold their hands, let them help you, ask for help. It's a sign of bravery. So Sona was such a beautiful character to create. Grandpa Ram and Grandma Kali are characters I've basically created based on my own mom and dad. My parents never left my side after my husband passed away. They were my biggest support system, rock, to help me navigate grief and loss myself and to help me raise my two daughters. Um, so yeah, it's been fun creating these characters and to honor some really important people in my life.
That's also how I feel like you're bringing in those other characters in your story in such a beautiful way and to celebrate them because, sometimes you underestimate the value of just holding someone's hand in a very difficult time. And like you said, you are not what happened to you. You're so much more than that. If someone is tuning in now and going through a very difficult time, what advice would you give them, Dr. Monica?
I would say that give yourself grace as you are navigating the five stages of grief. As we know, the last stage of grief is acceptance. Accepting what has happened to you has happened. Um, but for some people, it can take, several years to get to acceptance, like it did for me. And that's okay. Don't let anyone ever make you feel like you're not enough, that you are not worthy, that you are just a label on uh, a tax form. For me, it was the word widow. I was often addressed as that in when people were introducing me, and I was like, "What? No, I am more than that label." And I've realized that society is such that they have to label you. But I think when you really tune into yourself and realize that, mm-mm, I am who I am at my authentic self, I am Monica. And I think when we pull ourselves away from society's stigma and tune into your own essence, tap into your own essence, you will realize that you are just this incredible soul who is here on earth to do beautiful things and for a purpose.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And what a reminder for us all, because it's like you sometimes get stuck in your own way to healing, basically. And if
Yeah.
you can recommend this book, this incredible book, to anyone, who would that person be? Who would you say you wrote this for?
I feel like I wrote this book for myself. I wrote this
Amazing.
book for myself because 12 years ago, I could not find a book that I could relate to as a mom, a South Asian woman. Um, so I feel like, and often my friends have also shared with me that you wrote a book that you were looking for 12 years ago.
Wow, that is amazing. And, being so involved in the journey, I would absolutely also say anyone that is struggling through grief, but not only struggling, this is such a beautiful story. It's almost like a
Yeah.
toolkit for any child, because we all went through grief as children as well. I remember
Yes.
my dog passed away when I was 12, for example, and I couldn't deal with it. Like I
Yeah.
really struggled. Fifi, her
Yeah.
name was Fifi. So
Yeah.
it's like, and we all navigated so different. And it's like there's almost this stigma of children need to just be resilient. No, you have to teach your child it's okay to feel the grief.
Yeah.
And then what
Absolutely.
you did in your book is those, yeah, like I don't want to give everything away, but it's an educational tool as well. It's not just the story that's incredible.
And I have to agree with you. This book is intended for all ages. It's intended, obviously, for children to read on their own, but this book is intended for families to read together, for adults who need to read it, for anyone around the world who's trying to navigate mental health and grief. And we know, Marguerite, that grief comes in many forms. It's not just a loss of a person. Grief is so many things. It can be a loss of a marriage, it can be loss of a dream, loss of finances, loss of friendships. I mean, there's so many different ways that this book can apply to your life as a universal topic of mental health and grief.
I love that so much. I love you so much and this incredible book. And we are entering the season that's tough for some. We've some have lost loved ones during the year. It's a first without, it's tough. Christmas season, the holiday season is not that glitz and glamour, sometimes for some. And I do want to put you on the spot, if you don't mind. I'm going to ask you that beautiful poem that you wrote. If you can please, either just a little piece, read a little piece, or the whole one to bless our listeners with it. Sorry for putting
I,
you on the spot.
I would be honored. So this is chapter 13. It's called The Butterfly Effect. And in here, there's a poem that we wrote. And here it goes. In a garden where the sunbeams play, among the flowers they love to stay. Butterflies dance on the gentle breeze. Their colors are bright, a sight to seize. Yet in our hearts there lies a grief. For every flight there's a brief belief that in their wings a message is kept of loved ones gone for whom we've wept. But let us see in their graceful flight a symbol of hope shining so bright. For though our loved ones are now afar, they're like these butterflies, a beautiful star. So when you feel the weight of grief, remember the butterflies and their joyful relief. They remind us of the love that stays and the beautiful memories that always blaze. In every flutter and every dance, they tell us to embrace life's chance, to live with love, to let go of fear. For in this world, we have those dear. So watch the butterflies, let them guide your heart's journey, let it not hide. For in their flight, there's a story told of the love that grows and never grows old.
Aww. It is just beautiful. Thank you for blessing us with that. As I do really want to just honor not only the story that you've written, but your journey and being so brave and courageous, because I know you do speaking events, you do a lot of podcasts. You're very busy as an advocate for mental health and basically bringing hope. Your pain became your purpose. If anyone wants to reach out to you, Dr. Monica, how can they reach you?
Yes, so you can reach me through obviously Right and Shine Media House through your contact as you represent me. You can also find me on my main social media page, which is at Dr. Monica PharmD. Um, all my posts are mostly there, and you will also get to find updates on my book, which goes live on the Volley. It'll be available worldwide on Amazon. And yeah,
It's so exciting. And I know there's many, many, many more to come. Just like a sneak peek for anyone out there that's a fan like myself. And I just want to say thank you for visiting me and just for this incredible journey that we are on. I truly honor you in such a big way. And I'm so excited. You've been saying you want to release your book on Diwali. And this
yes.
is a dream. This is a beautiful moment to share with you.
Marguerite, I want to first say thank you for coming into my life. You believed in me, believed in my story. You held my hand during this entire journey of writing. And I had told you my wish 2 years ago that I wanted to launch this book at Diwali, which symbolizes dark versus light. And the intention of this book was to bring light and sunshine into in everyone's lives. And you made that happen for me. So I am just so blessed for you leading this project and your entire team.
Don't make me cry, but it's such an honor. Like I think it's just, when hearts connect and the story and the why you're doing it. It's such a beautiful, beautiful pocket of sunshine. It really is such a beautiful sunshine in our lives. And what an honor. Thank you for choosing us. It's been an incredible journey. And I know this is just the beginning for us.
Oh, it's just the beginning. We're already thinking about part two of this book. What are we gonna do? I cannot wait. We're in this t for forever together. I'm so excited, and anyone listening, please choose Marguerite for projects, books. Write and Shine Media House is just, it feels like family. The media house feels like family.
I promise I did not pay Dr. Monica to say that.
She didn't.
I really appreciate it. And that's exactly what we want to do. Yeah. Is the connection, the family. It really is about quality and these hearts projects. This for me is just such a celebration of you. And I could not be more proud and congratulate you more. I wish we were in the same country to celebrate, but just now these candles burning in this house on Diwali. If you can share a little bit more about Diwali, for other cultures, because I've really grown to love the Indian culture through you so much. I actually have a few books here, wearing my sari, and it's just such a beautiful, colorful culture.
It is. So Diwali is a festival in Hinduism, which is basically similar to your Christmas. It is our Indian New Year, where we basically symbolize light versus darkness. It goes back to the scriptures of the Ramayana, which is our, similar to like our Indian biblical gods, where Lord Ram um, defeats evil Ravan, who has kidnapped his wife, and these are gods fighting for light versus darkness, and so it symbolizes that to let go of evil and darkness and bring light. And so that's why it's also called the Festival of Lights. You will see homes, families, doorsteps filled with candles and lights to symbolize light coming into your life, goodness coming into your life, sunshine coming into your life. So yeah, it's a beautiful, time of the year for who that celebrate. And also what's really beautiful is, you know, even if you don't practice Hinduism, it's a culture, it's time of light, time of a festival where everyone is embracing it, which is beautiful.
It is absolutely, and I absolutely love the light, versus dark. Just the celebration of light and goodness throughout, and it's a new year. It's absolutely new beginnings, and I'm so excited to see what this new chapter holds for you. Thank you so much for sharing your story, and for everyone who tuned in. If you are going through a difficult time, just remember, like Dr. Monica said, this too shall pass. It is not who you are. And we are here. We are cheering you on. We are talking, like Dr. Monica, about what happened to her, but it didn't define her. On the contrary, it became her dharma, it became her purpose. Thank you so much for joining. If you are contemplating writing your own story, sharing your own story, take courage from Dr. Monica, as she had the courage to pick up her pen and decide to write from a place of hurt, and that actually was her path to healing. And thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. Keep on writing and keep on shining.
Thank you, Marguerite.
Just watch me shine.